Hey guys, this is a Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now, this is what if female Deku had God Kiana's powers as a quirk from Honkai Impact. Now, I didn't know exactly where I wanted to take this story specifically because there's a lot of time space that I need to fill out before we get into, the canon stuff. So I thought it through, so I'm going to do with this. I've done other What Ifs. I'll be adding a bit of DC into it. So this changes the whole direction where I'm gonna take this. So let's begin our what if. As Tina Yadarozu's driving in a taxi, as she gets to the front gate, as she opens it, as all the lights are off, as she walks into the empty manor or mansion, as she walks up the stairs, as she goes to her room, as she walks in her room, opens the drawer, as she sees the locket, as she opens it, as she lays on her bed, as she starts crying, as she cries herself to sleep, it just was too much for her today. The constant being ignored by her family, and the constant feeling no matter what she does, they will never see her. They will only notice Momo, and she's emotionally scarred. She's a very sad girl. She has a lot of hatred in her eyes, but deep down there is a softer side to her as she's just hurt inside. There's a deep sadness in her that not a lot of people see over the persona that she acts. As Momo wakes up in a hospital bed, as her mother, "Are you right, sweetheart?" "I'm fine, Mom. Where's my sister?" As she's, "Where's Kine?" As Mrs. Yai Rose, "What do you mean, where is she?" "She's probably back at the house." As she's like, "No, that's she was there." As Mrs. Yai Rose, "What do you mean she was there?" "She's the one who saved me, Mother." "That's impossible." "No, Midnight and Azawa Razorhead was the one who saved you." "No, Mother, that's not true. I saw her there before I passed out." As Momo's being stubborn about that part. Now, Momo has no ill feeling towards her sister whatsoever. She loves her like a sister. She loves her little sis. So, no matter how she acts, that will never change for Momo. I think Momo's older sister. Yeah, because she's the heir, so that will make Kinade the younger one. So, I just had to remember a couple things. As the doctor comes in and talks to Mrs. Yairozu, "Mrs. Yairozu, your daughter's fine. Just make sure she doesn't do any unnecessary activities for a couple days. She has a clean bill of health. You're free to take her home." As they get into the limousine, as they drive back to the mansion, the Yayarozu residence, as Momo walks in, as Mrs. Yayarozu gets her phone call from her husband, "Mom, I'm going to bed. I've had a long night." "Okay, sweetheart, just sleep well." "I will." As she walks up, as she was about to enter her room, as she goes over to, she knocks on her sister's door, as there is no answer. As she walks in, as she notices her sister on the bed, crawled up in a little ball, as she goes over there to check on her, As she noticed the tears in her eyes, she cried herself to sleep. As Momo moved some of her, bangs out of her face, as she knows she's clenching onto the locket, as she sees it, as Momo smiles, as she sits on the bed, as she strokes her hair. I know you've you've had it very difficult living here, little sis. I know our parents do not see you, but I do. I've always noticed you, sister. I know you're not a bad person. You've does you've been redirecting your frustration, your anger, your sadness into something you shouldn't be doing. I know the school, all people at the school think you're just a bully, that you're going to turn villain. I know better, little sis. You're not a bad person. Not at all. I still remember when me and you used to play as little girls. You're always the sweetest, kindest to me and to everyone else. Before all this started, I don't know how we got here. I know because of our parents' treatment of you, you feel like you don't belong here, but you do. You will always belong here, by my side, sister. I do love you. I just kind of wish you see. I kind of wish that you realize it. Despite your ill feelings towards me, I will always try to reach out for you. That's what family does. As she kisses her on the forehead, good night, sister, and thank you for tonight. As she closes the door gently, as there's a tear on Momo's Yadaroshi's face, as she goes to her room and goes to bed. As Kine gets up as she gets up in the morning, as she gets dressed, as she's about to leave, as she sees the locket on the ground, as she picks it up, as she looks at it, as she has a soft smile a little bit. It's between, it's in a border between, it's, sorry guys, it's like a smile, but it's kind of a sad smile. As she puts it around her neck, as she wears a locket from now on. The fact that her sister was almost killed, she still despises her, but that's still her sister when it comes down to it. So their relationship's a little she's yeah her their relationship's kind of weird right now. So as she as she leaves for school, Momo has already left. As she's walking down the hallway, as she sees the same girl that she bullied the other day, as she sees two other girls start picking on her, calling her loser, slamming onto her books as they fall on the ground, as they start pulling on her hair. As Momo has noticed the two girls picking on that one girl got bullied by her sister earlier yesterday, or just yesterday, as they're about to do something, as they pull out the scissors, as they're like, huh, that bitch Kinney, sorry, not Kinney, Kinney had the right idea. Let's cut this bitch's hair. As they're about to cut her hair, as a hand grabs onto their wrist, one of the girls. As her wrist hurts, like, who are you? Who the hell are you? And do you have any idea who you're messing with? As Kinney is looking at the girl on the ground, as she barely gives him a slant look, like this in the picture. Oops, sorry, guys, you saw something. Ah. As she's like, enlighten me, worm. As the two girls Their eyes widen. It's Kine. We're sorry, we're sorry. Beat it, worms. As they run off, with their tails between their legs. The girl looks up to her. What, you're gonna beat me again? As Kine smiles, as she picks her up, as she's like, what are you doing? And she's like, shut up. Sorry, guys, I got a notification on my phone for some reason. As when Kine carries her, as her books float in air from the bullies knocking it out of her hands, as everyone's like, what the hell's going on? As they thinking that Kine is going to kill her or bully her more, as Momo noticed that she's heading towards the nurse's office. As she opens the door with telekinesis, as she shuts it and locks it, as Kine sets her on bed, she has a fear look on her face. What are you gonna do? As she walks past her, goes into the first aid kit, as she sits down, and she's like, "Come here." I, and she's like, "No, I'm not asking." As she finally goes over there, she has no choice. As she opens the first aid kit, as she starts taking care of her face, the girl looks at her confused, as she's like, "What are you after? First you beat on me yesterday, now you're tending to my wounds." And she's like, "Shut up." As she finished, as Kine's like, as she sighs, as she's like, "I'm sorry for yesterday." As the girl, "What?" "I'm sorry. I should have took my anger out on you because of my personal feelings from my family. I know I'm not the nicest person, but I'm not heartless. But what I said yesterday, I wasn't lying. You do have beautiful hair. If something like this happens again, go to Momo Yaoyorozu. She'll look after you. Unlike her, unlike me, she's a very good person, and she cares for people." As she puts the first aid kit back, as she's like, Kine is like, "So, what's your name exactly?" And she's like, "Rico." Yep, the bully she's been bullying, well, the person she's bullying been Reiko. She has longer hair at this point. In my story, she'll cut it off. Cut it short wise. Sorry, guys. Let's continue. As Kine gives her a smile. "That's a nice name. Don't worry, those girls won't be bugging you any longer. I'll make sure of that." As Reiko, "What do you mean?" "Goodbye, Reiko. Hopefully, hopefully your rest of your school years goes out with any drama." As she unlocks the door, as she shuts it, as the nurse comes in, as she walks past the nurse, there's a student there that needs a more close look up on her. Some girls were rough on her. "Thank you, Miss Yaoyorozu." "No problem, nurse." Kine goes back to her class. As the teacher's like, "Huh, you finally graced us with your presence, Miss Yaoyorozu. Take your seat." "Where exactly were you? Exactly, young lady." "I was helping a student to the nurse's office." As everyone looks at her, the teacher's like, I highly doubt that. You probably put the girl in the nurse's office yourself. Not this time, Sensei. As her sister looks at her, as the day progresses, as you have Kine walking into the principal's office, Miss Kine, what do I owe the pleasure? We need to talk. Of course, sit down. You haven't done anything, right? Today? No, principal, I haven't done anything yet today. But I'm going to if this is not taken care of. And she's like, what do you mean, young lady? As he gives a list of names. What's this? I suggest you take a closer look at these students. They're the main source of bullying around in the school. My name as well, but that won't be a problem anymore. As the principal's, what do you mean? Don't worry about it, principal. They've been picking on a girl named Reiko. So this is what I know. As the principal's sitting there to listen to it, as other teachers have looked the other way because they come from rich families, Miss Miss Reiko, I believe, yeah, she's on a scholarship program to our school. Don't worry, Miss G.I. Rosie, we'll look into this. And principal, have my sister look after her while I'm gone. That's, what do you mean why you're gone? Why you're gone? It doesn't matter, principal. It doesn't matter. Good day. As she bows as she leaves, as you have Reiko, as she walks over to Momo, as she, oh, I don't believe I've met you before. I'm Reiko. Your sister told me to come inform you if something happened. And she's like, what do you mean? You probably saw what happened earlier. It's been kind of hard on me. Been constantly bullying, and I don't. Your sister told me to come to you if I had any problems. As Mama's like, it's. As she smiles, don't worry. That won't be a problem anymore. I'll just stick with me. Let me properly introduce myself. I am Momo Yadarozu. As they shake hands, I believe we'll be good friends. As Momo forms a friendship with Reika, as you have it over the intercom before the end of the day of this the end of the day, as the principal, can these students please report to the principal's office? As they list off all the troublemakers that have been causing problems. As Reiko's, what's going on? Oh, sorry. Momo's like, what's going on? I don't know. Reiko, do you know anything? Those aren't the girls that bully me. That's been bullying me, but several others. I don't know who the rest of them are. As several hours pass, attention, school. This is your principal speaking. It recently come to my attention that there's been bullying at this campus. We do not tolerate bullying. We have a no bully tolerance. And for the kids that are responsible for this sort of act, we will be expelled immediately. And that will be your punch. That will be the fate of any student that think they could bully anyone in my school. That is all. Kine gets into the limousine or the car. She's like, take me to this address, please. Yes, Mrs. Yairozu. As she opens her book bag, as she sees, she opens it up as it's a one-way ticket. It's a one-way ticket to outside of Japan. It's a plane ticket. As she gets to the Mrs. Midnight's house. I don't quite remember her name right now, but as Midnight, I'll just refer her to Midnight. As she gets to knock on the door, as she's open, oh, Kine, good, come in. As she lets Kine in, as the two girls rush over to her, as they jump towards her. Oh, aren't you affectionate now? So how you been doing, little ones? As the youngest smiles. Better, Miss Kine. Drop the miss. She bends down to their level. Just call me Kine. As the girl smiles, as the oldest was standoffish at first, but she warmed up to her after what happened. As Midnight's like, come on, children. Why don't you go back and do your schoolwork? Me and Kine has some talking to do. As Midnight, why don't you sit down? So, Kine, the reason why I asked you here is I'm just out of curiosity. What is your plans for the future? As Kine looks at her, why? Why do you care? I'm just, I'm just curious, dear. I see a, I see a lot of my sister in you. And she's like, fine. I'm planning to go to UA when I graduate high school. And she smiles. And she's like, was your, that's a good choice. I would hate to see such potential wasted. Speaking of that, does your family know you're here? As Kine's like, no, my family doesn't care. They never have. I go where I want. They don't ask me anything. And she noticed, again, that she has spite towards her family. And she's like, if you have so much spite, why did you save your sister? And she's like, I might hate my sister, but she's still my sister. And, and she's like, I'm not trying to butt in here, your personal family issues, but if you need someone to vent, I'm a good listener. Why don't you tell me about this? Sorry guys, I totally forgot what I was supposed to say. If you're willing, I'm willing to listen. That's fine. My whole life, I've been a ghost in my own family. They've only noticed, they only pay attention to my sister, my perfect little sister, my perfect big sister. It's like I don't exist. It doesn't matter what I do, they will never notice me. No matter what I do, they will never see me. Even if I got rid of my sister, that wouldn't change anything. To them, I'm not even their daughter. Oh, I made up my mind. As Midnight, what do you mean? And she's like, thank you for your hospitality, Midnight. Hopefully we see each other again. Goodbye. As she's, what are you planning, Kine? As she stops her, I have to leave. I can't stay in a city for, I can't stay in a city any longer. If I do, I'll end up killing my parents. And I might actually kill my sister, and I do not want to do that. Despite my, I might hate my sister, but she's still my sister. It's best if I leave. They probably wanted me to leave a long time ago. They just probably didn't have the guts to do it. And she's like, think this over, Kine. Maybe there's some way for you to repair this bridge between your family. There is no bridge. If there was a bridge, they destroyed it themselves a long time ago. Goodbye. Thank you for listening. I will remember your kindness well. As she gets into the vehicle, as Monsieur Arger, should we head back to the manor? No. Head to the airport. As Are you sure, ma'am? Where are you going? Keep your mouth shut. As she hands the driver some extra money. Here's enough money for you to keep your mouth shut. Don't tell my parents or my sister where I went. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Mrs. Yairozu. Good. Let's drive. As they're driving through the airport, as she gets into the check-in area, as she's waiting for the plane to board, as she opens her phone. By this time, it's nighttime. As Mom was getting worried, her sister's not home. She's usually home by now. Mom, where's sis? Where's sister? She's not home. She's not in her room. I don't know. Mom, sweetheart. She's probably out somewhere. Probably talking with friends or something. As Mom was like, she doesn't have any friends. As her phone rings, and she's like, hello? Hello, sister. Kine, where are you? I'm worried. This is goodbye, sister. What? I don't like. I don't like how. I don't like where this is going. Please listen, Momo. Please, sister, just listen. And she's like, fine. I can't stay in that house any longer. If I do, I'll kill our parents. I despise them. So this is goodbye. Don't come looking for me. Take care of yourself, Momo. Goodbye. Sir, wait. As the phone got cut off, she snaps the phone in half as she throws it in the trash. Boarding. As they announce the boarding, as you have Kiane walking into the plane as she sits down, as it begins to take off after a few hours. As she stares out the window as the plane flies, as she's like, this is for the best for both of us, sister. Hopefully we'll meet again one day. As the plane takes off, as the captain, after 15 minutes, well, about an hour, about a couple hours, and now there's a storm coming their way, as they're trying to find they have to fly through it a little bit to get to a landing. It's not safe to fly, as a lightning bolt hits one of the jets on the plane. The engine, sorry, jets. as as the studios announce everyone to get ready for a crash landing, we're going down. As the plane crashes into the ocean, as the pressure of the water shatters all the windows in the plane, as she gets thrown into the sea, as she's unconscious, as all she sees is a glimpse of a woman coming, grabbing her hand. The man's world has not been kind to you, young one. I will take you to a place where you will be accepted. Your hardships are over. I can no longer ignore your your pain, young mortal. As Hera grabs onto Kiene, as she teleports, or flies off. Well, whatever Hera does, she's a god of, no, she's the queen of the gods, so she could do whatever she wants. So, it's the queen of the Amazon on Paradise Island from DC. I'm not gonna pronounce the new name they renamed it, but I'm just gonna refer to it as Paradise Island. So DC Wonder Woman stuff. So we're getting to that stuff right now. So as Hera appears in front of the queen, as Hera gets down on one knee, Goddess Hera, what do I owe this unexpected visit? Queen of the Amazons, it is nice to see you again, my friend. As the Queen of Amazon, I forget her name right at the point, but she's like, as she sees the girl in her arms, Hera, who's this? This is a new one I brought to you to take care of. The man's world has not been kind to this one. This one has been. Sorry, guys, let me get the right word I'm thinking of. This one has had many hardships, even by her own kin, neglected, ignored. I can no longer stand by and do nothing. I want you to take care of this one like it's your own daughter. Show her the kindness and love that she has been, as she hasn't been shown by her own parents. The gods have spoken as she sets her down on the ground, as she disappears. Guards, bring this young girl to my personal chambers. Yes, my queen. As the Amazon, pick her up and be gentle. Yes, yes, my queen. As as they set her down on the queen's chambers, as they close the door, as the queen walks in, as Kine wakes up, as she's like, "Oh, you're," after like a couple days, as she wakes up, "Oh, you're up." As Kine, where am I? As she's very defensive. Don't worry, young lady, you're safe. Let me proper introduce myself. I believe her name is Hipalia, so I'm probably butchering it. It's just like, I am Hipalia, the queen of the Amazons. As Kenny, Amazons, what the hell are you talking about? Come. As the queen of Amazons help her up, you're still kind of weak, but maybe it's best for you to lay down for now. Don't worry, we'll have plenty of time to talk. Why don't you rest? And I'll come check up you in the morning, dear. Don't worry. You're with friends. We're going to stop it there. That's a good spot to stop it there. So hope you guys have a good night and day, judging my time zones. All right, bye.